After the last episode of the Solo Leveling anime aired, the production of a second season to be titled Solo Leveling, or Rise from the Shadow was announced. The announcement did not reveal a scheduled premiere date, but confirms a previous leak that claimed the series would have 2 parts. The spin-off of Tensei Terra Slime is cancelled due to health complications of its illustrator. Okajiri Sho, a well-known mangaka, has made his efforts for this spin-off manga, but years ago he has not been able to update the work, ending it is at its end by cancellation. After airing the last episode of the anime Dungeon Meshi, a new promotional video for the anime adaptation was revealed. The video confirms that the series will continue next week with its second part, remembering that the series is announced with a total of 24 episodes. The Mahou Shoujo and I Akagari anime ends was one of the highlights during the winter 2024 season. In fact, this was a surprise for more than one, as the theme of magical girls has been so overexploited, but ended up being very well received by the community. Unfortunately, a second season has not been announced. Renowned artist Nekakurage has been the subject of accusations by the Fukuoka Prefectural Tax Office in Japan. The accusations revolve around alleged tax evasion practices. The tax fraud was discovered based on the suspicion that the artist omitted to declare more than 47 million yen in taxes, which is equivalent to more than $300,000. The artist Nekakurage used her Twitter account to apologize for the tax omission and assured that she had already taken action on the matter by hiring an accountant to resolve the situation. Kanojo author Okara Shimasu is trending on social media after sharing an illustration of Chizuru Mizuhara, the protagonist of his most popular manga, via Twitter. What made this post especially eye-catching is that the illustration was created using artificial intelligence. An illustration of the popular Blue Archive franchise has become a topic of discussion on social networks after fans noticed a peculiar error. One of the characters had 6 fingers on his right hand. This discovery unleashed a wave of criticism towards the franchise, with accusations of possible use of artificial intelligence (AI) in the creation of the illustrations. Terumi Nishii, lead animation director of Jujutsu Kaisen 0, has said that the anime industry could be going through hard times, also suggesting that we could soon expect more anime studio bankruptcies. In a post on Twitter, Nishii wrote the following: "In the future, the capacity of each studio will be completely exhausted. We expect to see more and more bankruptcies due to the fact that a production scheduled for 3 years from now will be finished in 5 years, but the budget has been spent on another production. I wonder how many animators will be able to survive at that point. The careless ones will be eliminated. We all need to study more." An organization founded to educate people about working conditions in the anime industry called Nippon Anime and Film Culture Association recently conducted a survey targeting anime industry workers from December 4, 2023 to January 31, 2024. And received 323 responses. One of the most relevant data was the overtime worked by animators. First, regarding the average monthly working hours of anime industry workers, it was found to be 219 hours, with an average of 225 hours and a maximum of 336 hours per month. This reveals a picture of long working hours in the industry, as the national average in Japan is around 162 hours. Anime workers work almost 40% longer. As for hourly rates, 14% of respondents indicated that their hourly rate was equivalent to between 600 and 800 yen, with an overall average of 1111 yen. If we take the median salary and multiply it by the average number of hours worked, we can see that earnings average 249,000 yen per month. This is lower than the national average of 310,000 yen. Despite working many more hours than average, anime workers earn less than average. The new episode of Konosuba, the first episode of the 3rd season, has been leaked online ahead of its premiere scheduled for April 10th. This leaked episode, however, is only available with English subtitles and can be obtained through Nia, the popular site dedicated to anime piracy. A doujinshi selling platform deal site caused a stir recently by announcing that a number of semi-regular search terms would be softened to appease credit card companies annoyed with being linked to such terms. The platform did not explain whether the credit card companies had rejected the proposed terms or whether this was simply a precautionary measure because the new terms had gained too much attention to continue to be considered secret with all the buzz on social media. Author of the Osamake light novel Shuichi Nimuru has expressed his deep disappointment with the anime adaptation of his work released in spring 2021 and produced by Doga Kobo Studios. Nimuru shared his dissatisfaction via Twitter, revealing that his experience with the anime series caused him great personal suffering. Fans are getting disappointed with the classroom of the elite anime even though it is one of the most popular franchises of the moment, especially in the world of light novels. However, when we move towards other media such as the manga adaptation or the anime adaptation, the reviews become mixed, to say the best. the manga adaptation is considered to be a complete failure by omitting much of the personality of the protagonist Kiyotaka Ayanokoji, especially all of his inner monologues. It was obvious that this flaw would also carry over to the anime adaptation, and the absence of these details ended up leaving Ayanokoji as a cliché anime protagonist. Mahou Shoujo and Akagurite anime dominates in Blu-ray/DVD sales. Blu-ray/DVD sales are no longer a determining factor in whether a series will have a second season. Due to the emergence of streaming platforms, access to audiovisual content has become much simpler and more direct, so Blu-ray/DVDs became items exclusively for collectors. But buying Blu-ray/DVDs is a direct way to support anime studios in Japan. In addition, Blu-ray/DVDs are also a way to access unreleased benefits of an anime production, such as uncensored versions of episodes and other production materials like concept art books, interviews with the production team, and so on. And it goes without saying that Blu-ray/DVD sales are still an indication to praise or humiliate an anime production, depending on how high the numbers are. An example remains Chainsaw Man, the MAPPA Studios superproduction that only totaled 1,735 copies sold with its first Blu-ray/DVD in its first week, but the Mahou Shoujo and Akagurite anime managed to sell 5,660 copies of the Blu-ray, 1,498 copies of the limited edition Blu-ray, and 956 copies of the DVD. This means that the series totaled 8,114 copies sold for its first Blu-ray/DVD in its first week in Japan, the biggest figures of the winter 2024 season so far. With this figure and in the same time period, Mahou Shoujo and Akagurite surpassed other releases such as Soso no Frieren and Kusuria no Hitorigoto, as well as Boku no Kokoro no Yabai Yatsu and Mashal, Magic and Muscles, the Divine Visionary Candidate Exam Arc. In the listing we can also see that productions such as Solo Leveling, Shangri-La Frontier, Undead Unluck and Oroka na Tenchi wa Akuma to Otaru that have no figures, meaning that they had such low sales that they did not make it into the sales ranking. The president of WIT Studio, known for the first 3 seasons of Shingeki no Kyojin and the upcoming One Piece remake, has issued a grim warning about the future of the anime industry, pointing to the growing disparity between the quality of anime and the current pace of production. In a recent interview, WIT Studio President George Wada expressed concern about whether the ever-increasing expectations in the anime industry are sustainable in the long term. In response to the question of whether the ever-increasing quality of anime is sustainable, Wada stated, "I don't think it's possible to keep up this pace. What's really important is that the number of anime fans in the world continues to grow. Once they can acquire more anime fans around the world, companies will be willing to invest more money in creating anime, which will allow them to continue to create such high-quality works. Then, if anything, it depends on the increase in the number of fans." A controversy has arisen in Japan as the Communist Party of Japan has allegedly created a secret form to disseminate among its members to report young adult manga to the United Nations. A user reported finding the form as a QR code in the Shimbun Akahata, the daily newspaper of the Communist Party of Japan. The form asks questions such as whether convenience stores sell adult magazines, and among these it mentions manga magazines of seinen demographics for young adult men, such as Young Animal. The form included the following introduction: a previous 3-day survey, 517 stores, conducted in late December showed that adult magazines in convenience stores, which were supposed to have been eliminated through our campaign and surveys, are back in many places. This time we will conduct a nationwide survey. We will investigate whether adult magazines that treat women as sex objects are being placed in convenience stores, which are used by everyone regardless of gender or age, and we will take the results to the convenience store headquarters to petition. The results will be included in a report to the UN Committee on the Elimination of Discrimination Against Women. This attempt to disparage adult anime and manga seems to partially contradict the party's statements in 2021, where the Communist Party of Japan asserted its supposed commitment to free expression but expressed reservations about how women are portrayed in creative works. In attempting to provoke the United Nations to comment on Japan's free speech policy, it evokes Vice's attack on Japanese media that equated fan service in manga and anime with child abuse. After Japanese social media users discovered the JCP's secret survey, some pointed out the irony of a historically repressed political party wanting to use its authority to restrict free speech. And of course, the comments were not lacking. Well, as many have predicted, the suppression of expression will easily cross the boundaries of erotic magazines and expand its scope. It is extremely ironic that the person conducting this secret report is a descendant of a political party that was once persecuted distributed by powerful institutions before and during the war. Western Christian conservatives would like it, as they consider manga to be degenerate enough to side with the communists, which makes me feel disgust for both and special disgust for the communists. So how does this increase their popularity among the Japanese voting population? These were the news of the week. Thanks for watching until the end. Don't forget to check the other videos of the channel. Until next time.